Heading into today's race, Martin Truex Jr. with a 72-point lead over Clint Boyer. Reed Sorensen third, Carl Edwards and Kenny Wallace round out the top five. Jason Keller in 10th, 575 points behind Truex Jr., the leader after 19 of the 35 races on the schedule. And here is the starting grid for today's 200-lap race at New Hampshire. Kevin Harvick and Johnny Sauter the front row.
And you mentioned Johnny Sauter. He dominated at Milwaukee, a track similar to this. Look out for the one car today.
There's a championship leader, Martin Truex Jr. We talked to him. Greg Biffle back in row 6.
Paul Menard, Justin Labonte, Matt Kenseth. He'll be up front, I'm sure, before this is over.
And Strimmy in the backup cars we talked about. Carl Edwards back in row 11. Ryan Moore, young man out of Maine, inside of row 10.
David Green, Randy LaJoie, former series champions. Aaron Fike and Stacy Compton back in row 15. Austin Reed in the 5 car. Ashton Lewis Jr. Dave Blaney. 10 drivers in this race. Also in the starting field tomorrow. Kenny Wallace lost a motor on his qualifying lap. He's back there in row 21. And Dale Quarterly rounds out the 43-car starting field. Derek Hope, Kim Crosby, and Eric McClure failed to make the race. And as we talked about, Kenny lost that engine, so he has to go from 42nd to 43rd.
Well, that's a big penalty, huh?
Every position here is critical.
And hard to obtain.
So this track is very difficult to pass on because it's so flat, especially at the beginning of the race when there's all that traffic out there.
Yeah, it's hard to pass no matter what. Everybody's fighting for pretty much the same lane on this racetrack. You know, you go into the corner, the car slides up to the center. You wait until you get some grip, you get back on the gas, and that's pretty much everybody's after the same real estate. So, and even if your car's faster, your car could be faster than a guy. It's still difficult to get around somebody here. You know, once in a while you'll see the Nerf being used, you know, to try to get a guy, you know, just break him his traction a little bit so you can get that position. But this is a tough place. You're working this race car hard. You're very busy here.
You try and be patient, but your patience runs out pretty fast.
Yeah, always.
It really does. See, weaving those cars back and forth, trying to get these tires cold, do not adhere to the racetrack as well as they do when they're warm. That's why they're weaving the cars back and forth. They're not going to get a lot of heat on them, but they might get enough to get some grip down in turn 1.
And it's tougher with the guys on the inside because, you know, if they lose grip, they're going to slide up into the guy on the outside. The guy on the outside's got a little room to slide, but these guys down on the bottom got to be real careful.
And one of the keys here is getting your power to the track coming off the turns, right?
Right. You need it, but you need the car to rotate or roll through the center so you can drive these cars straight off. You know, almost 3/4 of the way around the corner, you need to be pointed straight down the straightaway, and then you're going to get a good bite. You're going to get a lot of speed.
The pace vehicle heads for pit road. Kevin Harvick in command of the field, waiting for the green flag. The NASCAR Busch Series is racing on TNT.
Johnny Sauter is taking, oh, he almost gets in the side of Harvick up in the corner.
Just what we were talking about, yeah. Slid up there, saved it.
Harvick leads the first lap. And there's no better feeling at Loudon than being out front.
With clean racetrack in front of you. Yes, it is, Bill. Clint Boyer, the 2 car on the inside of 18 of J.J. Yaley. About the 6th position, and Sauter about to lose a spot to the 79 of Casey Kane.
Kane on the inside. For the position.
got trouble. Justin Labonte in 44 goes around. Oh, Casey Atwood in 6 gets into him. We see the 32 car of Jason Leffler also spun, and here's another. There's a white car, Curtis Davis in 0.
You know, I've been watching that for a while. While this stuff was going up front, I was hitting you guys because they were 3-4 abreast getting into the corners on those first few laps.
Take a look at it.
Okay, here they come off the corner. Justin Labonte.
Well, he got a little bit of help there.
Yeah, there's no doubt he got some help by, I think that's Tim Fedewa in the white car.
You just can't see anything. Those guys in the back ran into that smoke and started running into each other because they couldn't see anything.
And certainly in the race, so everybody was all
Punched up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So an early caution here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. Kevin Harvick continues to lead. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. The 12 car of Timmy Fedewa has been moved to the rear of the field for over-aggressive driving.
Yeah, so much for patience, right?
We talked about that, didn't we?
What, 3 laps?
And we saw him get in the back of the 44 car off turn 2. There he is, going to the end of the field. Talk about losing track position. He was running 20th. Marty, what's up?
Well, BP, the reason Timmy Fedewa is moving to the back of the field, which they are arguing, as you would imagine, over the radio, is because of something Tim said on the radio. NASCAR officials caught that, didn't like it, and so they moved him to the back of the field.
So it could be over-aggressive speaking.
Yes.
Correct. I guess that's what it is there, Wally. Good guess.
Green flag.
John Wood is 47 on the inside of Regan Smith in 58.
Casey Kane in the 79 behind the 21 of Harvick down the backstretch. Cars drift up just a little bit there. Then you try and set yourself.
Yeah, Kane's car looked like it slid up a little bit more than Harvick's, but boy, he got that thing turned and got on the gas early and got off of turn 4 really good. See, he's running a little bit higher line too, it looks like.
He's certainly going in a little bit higher. In the middle of the corner, they might be about the same spot, but he's definitely going in a little bit higher.
Matt?
Bill, right after the caution came out, Casey Kane radioed to his team and said, this car is really good. A little free at entry, so you know it's going to be good now and especially later.
Matt, Johnny Sauter started second, but quickly lost that position to Casey Kane. Now he's getting challenges from the 20th Hamlin, who goes inside of the 90th Sadler. What's the problem? He came on the radio and said, guys, this thing is so loose. What did you do to it? Crew Chief Joe Shear said nothing, but it might be tire pressure, just a little bit low. The back end wants to swing around real fast. Alan?
Hey, Bill, Denny, and Wally, I want you to take a look at the left front corner of the 20 car for Denny Hamlin for Joe Gibbs. He thinks he damaged the left front fender a little bit in the opening couple of laps in that heavy traffic. He's trying to take a spot from Elliott Sadler here, but they're going to take a good look at it and maybe fix it on that first pit stop. Marty.
Alan, Elliott Sadler was jacked up for this race today. This car's run twice this year and finished second both times. He got out of the car after qualifying, told me we're going to be really good in the race so far. Very happy with the chassis on the 90 car.
Well, he does have a little bit of damage on the left front. And, boy, every little bit helps here at this place. A lot of it is mechanical, but if you can get anything on downforce here, it's important.
We see the damage on the left front there. After all, these cars will be traveling 140, 50 miles per hour down the straightaway, so obviously that much speed. Caution flag is out. We got a crash off turn 4.
Justin Labonte is in it.
And Jeff Fuller in the 7 car.
Burning off some fuel there.
We're going to have to do something big time to this car because it is heavily damaged.
How about a front clip?
That's Jeff Fuller.
It looked like it's going to be a good day for the Coast Guard. The young lady sang the national anthem and it turned bad all of a sudden.
Sure did. Tough start for Labonte.
Somewhere there we see the 7 car. He gets tagged by the 32 car of Jason Leffler. But he almost saves it.
Yeah, no, he had it saved. If he wouldn't have got hit again, he would have saved it.
And Justin Labonte had nowhere to go.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Oh,
They never hit soft, do they?
No, they don't.
Yeah, I mean, the 7 caught it, and then he just got drilled again, and that was it.
I see he made a little bit of contact with the 14 car of David Strimmy as Strimmy drove by.
So our second caution flag still early here in New Hampshire. Kevin Harvick continues to lead Kasey Kahne and Johnny Sauter.
Back at the Magic Mile under red here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. Now the reason, let's take a look at the video, is Justin Labonte. Now you're not really quite sure what happened, so let's do a replay and you can walk us through it.
Well, I was running there on the inside, and the 32 just got in the back of the 7, and looks like he hit him once, and then he hit him again, and finally got him sideways, and we didn't have nowhere to go. Went right in the barrels.
And a second angle here, as you can see, the contact begins, and Justin really has nowhere to go. Tough day for you. 2 incidents.
Yeah, and about 15 laps. It's not very good. I hate for the Coast Guard guys. We had a good car. We had a decent qualifying effort. Just a little too loose at the start there, trying to hold on to it and get an early caution and come work and tighten it up a little bit. But this wasn't meant to be. There's nowhere to go the second wreck. Just nothing I could really do.
An early exit for Justin Labonte. Bill?
Thank you, Matt. As Matt mentioned, we are under the red flag. They're fixing that tire barrier that protects the edge of the pit wall along the pit straight here on the front stretch.
That's a good thing. You want those barrels.
So the field is parked on the back stretch while the starter stand has the red flag out here at New Hampshire. Of refire, and as you can see, the field rolling again under the caution flag here after a brief red flag at New Hampshire. Pick the winner of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series and you could win $250,000 and a tanker of Sunoco fuel. Race to Sunoco for details. Let's check in with Matt Yoakum.
Jeff Fuller has walked out of the infield care center. Now you're not exactly sure what happened. We're going to try to roll the video so you can walk us through this as well. We've already talked to Justin Labonte. See yourself.
We're right in the middle of the 3 there. I get a tap right from that guy right there in the orange. The 32 turns me down.
Left.
Thought we had it saved right here. Thought we had it saved. Thought we had it saved. And then right there I get another shot. So I don't know.
Tough run at what you consider your home track.
Yeah, I mean, they really wanted to run the whole race, and it's the car they expected to bring to Pikes Peak, and I don't think that they're going to be doing that.
Good news is he's okay, guys.
I would agree with that assessment by Jeff Fuller.
Yeah.
Looks like Stremme got hit on that.
Yeah, that we need to go back and look at that too. But we can check in with some crew chiefs down on pit road. Start with Alan.
All right, I'm with the leaders crew chief Kevin Harvick. Ricky, talk me through strategy on this race today. 200 laps, how long can you go on fuel, and what are you thinking as far as your pit stop strategy?
Well, on the first one, it'll probably go about 80 laps, and obviously this place is hard to pass, so track position means an awful lot. But so far, we've been able to have a good car off the start of the race, and let's see what happens here for a little while. We'll probably be pitting after about 35 or 40 laps.
All right, Ricky Byers, Kevin Harvick's crew chief. Let's go to Dave.
With Joe Shear right now, crew chief for Johnny Sauter. You told him that the pressures might be down. Is that all you think's wrong with that loose race car?
Yeah, we're a little loose right now. We worked on a lot of long run stuff with old tires. I think we anticipated car being a little bit tighter than what it was. But anyways, I think air pressures are most of our adjustment. We'll work on that next time we come in.
Marty?
Todd Parrott, how's the 90 car so far?
Well, right now things shattered in the right rear tire. Probably started with a little bit too much air in the right side tires, but we get our first pit stop. We'll get this City Financial Ford tuned up and hopefully take it to victory lane.
You know, that's Todd's hat, Boston Red Sox, the general manager of Robert Yates Racing. He's a Yankees fan. They have their own little competition going on up here today. Weber, you don't have a dog in that fight, do you?
Close Marty's mic.
You're a Red Sox fan,
Close
right,
Marty's
Weber?
mic. Close Marty's mic. Green flag is out at New Hampshire. Harvick in front. We will have to keep an eye on Stremme's car because he definitely got a piece of that wreck coming off the fourth.
He got hit right around the right rear, probably right in front of the right rear tire. Don't know if it got into the tire or wheel, but pretty good shot.
Well, he made a pit stop and the crew checked over that right rear on the 14 car of Stremme. Here we see the 20 car of Hamlin dive underneath the one of Sauter. Looks like he's trying to take hood, possibly. Yeah, got the spot.
And it really looks like Sauter,
Sauter is struggling.
Yeah, and he's holding up some cars too. And
right in the center, you can see that car getting loose.
Tell you what, that was a great move on Paul Menard's part. That 11 car with the 90 was held up by the 1.
And that one left rear tire looks low. I mean, they're all low, but his looks lower than everybody else's.
Menard in the 11.
Look at that tire. He goes down in the corner.
Talking about the left rear on the 1.
On the 1 car, Johnny Sauter.
Martin Truex in the 8 car trying to get alongside of J.J. Yaley in 18. Alan Truex loves this place, doesn't he?
Oh, Benny, he considers this and Dover to be his home tracks. As we talked with him on our pre-race show, the places that helped get his career established to this level. He also told me he has a car he really feels like can win. With the practice Friday, the qualifying this morning, and then the impound until the race, he said his 7th starting position was very deceiving. He expects that he could possibly pick up win number 5 this year today.
Looks pretty good, Alan. The car, you know, it doesn't look like it's sliding up into the middle of the racetrack like a lot of these other guys are. It looks like he can stay down on the bottom, which is good here.
Well, I tell you what, Sauter is struggling so badly in the middle of the corner. The 90 car of Elliott Sadler just drove by him as he was trying to get the car righted and headed in the other direction.
Marty.
Well, we talked about the damage earlier for David Strimmy. I just talked to the crew chief, Randy Cox. He said it's really not that much of a concern to him. They have stopped twice, took fuel only on the stops, made a chassis adjustment. Remember, they had to start, well, actually didn't start in the back there in a backup car from the wreck that they had in practice earlier. David told me the first laps in that car were qualifying. He said they've had their hands full this weekend. They've got a pretty good handle on it, trying to get back to the front now.
And getting back to Johnny Sauter, even as poorly as his car seems to be handling, it's still difficult to get around it.
Yes.
There's the 8 around him. Now this is a moment ago.
See the last car on your screen there. He's going to pop the wall coming out of 4.
Hard. That was Boston Reed in the Lowe's Chevrolet, and he hit that wall very firmly.
And here's what it feels like.
Listen to it. Oh. Dave, that's not a very good sound, is it?
No, it isn't, but the good sound for him today is the sound of the voice in his ear. It's Jerry Nadeau on top of the boxes, or on top of spotting today for Boston Reed, a guy who's raced here a lot. And so he's trying to calmly talk him back into the race now that he's tapped the wall. They said, get your breath and then talk to us. And Reed talked about the condition of the car, talked to him about, and then Jerry talked to him about getting back into rhythm.
I talked to Jerry Nadeau this morning and said this is the first racetrack that he's been back since he was injured in the crash at Richmond. Was it 2 years ago? First time he's been back to the racetrack as an active participant. He is a spotter for Boston Reed today.
We saw him in the garage this morning right when he walked in. First thing.
Sure did.
It's good to see him.
Oh, here comes that 8 car.
Yep. But Menard started 14th. He's up to 5th. Good run for him. Alan, you got some more on the 11?
Well, Paul Menard, if you remember, Bill, Benny, and Wally, this race 1 year ago was where he made his first drive for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. And he kind of struggled coming from his background of sports car racing. Heck, he even raced on the ice back up in Wisconsin where he grew up, to NASCAR Busch Series racing on radial tires. But about 2 months ago, the light came on. His crew chief told me that... Got trouble? All right. I'll keep going then. His crew chief told me that things have really begun to come together, not only for the driver, Paul, but for the team. They're giving him better cars. Together, they're finding their way to the front. They expect to win and win soon with this young 24-year-old.
Steve Grissom, he had this problem going down in turn 3 and was unable to get to the entrance to pit road as he came off turn 4 and had to make almost an entire lap with his right front tire flat.
He's made a visit to the wall.
As I said, that happened going in turn 3.
Back up front, Harvick. The winner a week ago in the Busch Series race at Chicagoland. Elliott Sadler past the 20 of Denny Hamlin. Harvick Harvick strong once again. He leads Casey Kane and Elliott Sadler. When we come back to New Hampshire, we will take you through the field.
Tell you what, Kevin Harvick is just not letting them catch up. Pulled out to a 2.25 seconds on Casey Kane. The last couple of laps, Elliott Sadler in the 3rd place. The 90 car has shown to be the fastest car.
All right, well, let's go through the field, starting with Kevin Harvick, and Alan bats lead off.
Kevin Harvick leading the entire distance so far. Kevin with top 5 finishes his last 3 New Hampshire races, says after 3 or 4 laps, his car's really good. Matt?
Texas winner Casey Kane's lost a little bit of ground. The leader Kevin Harvick now says the car, which was good earlier, is starting to chatter the right front right before he gets back in the gas. Marty?
Matt, just a couple laps ago, Elliott Sadler radioed to the crew that the 90 car is starting to get loose into the corners, which means the back end's a little too happy, wants to come around on him, too tight in the center, which means he doesn't want to turn. But still, as BP said, they're the fastest car on the track, Alan.
Well, Denny Hamlin started in 6th places, moved up to 4th. We talked earlier and reported on the left front fender damage that he got on those opening couple of laps. He's reporting that he doesn't have as much front end grip in the car as he would like, and they think a lot of that's due to that fender damage. They'll try and fix it on their first pit stop. I just talked with Martin Truex Jr.'s crew chief, Kevin Mannion. He said everything's fine. He's running good lap times. He's as fast as the leaders. We'll wait till our first pit stop, make a couple small adjustments, and we'll be good. Dave?
Johnny Sauter's crew chief promised him the car would start to come in. It has. Matt Kenseth is challenging him, but Sauter did move back into 6th position, getting around Paul Menard. Matt
Kenseth trying to become the first repeat NASCAR Busch Series winner here on the Magic Mile. Just moved up into the 7th position. The car is a little loose on entry, loose off, but it's starting to come around to him. Artie?
Matt, Greg Biffle started 12th up to the 8th position. The car started out loose, but now it's coming back to him, getting better. Biffle has 1 Busch Series win this season coming in this car. Same story for the 2nd place man in the championship, driving the number 2 car, Clint Boyer. Took a while for that car to come in, very loose to start off with, skating all over the racetrack, but he's very happy with it now. Alan?
Well, Paul Menard, we just talked about him a couple of minutes ago, started 14th, moved up close to the top 5. He slipped back now to the 10th position, reporting that from the center of the corner off, his car not turning as well as he needs it to be. That means he's not exiting the corners as fast as those he's trying to race with. Dave?
J.J. Yaley started 10th, has lost 1 position. That car wants to spin out when it enters the corner. The 64 right behind him, Jamie McMurray. You might have heard us say last week that the 64 team was out of cars. Now that was for Jeremy Mayfield. This one fits Jamie, and it was ready to go for this week. And they are racing their way from 20th starting spot. Matt?
4th in the championship points is Carl Edwards in the 60 car, currently running 13th. Already talking about a brake bias adjustment that he's made. They're also talking about a track bar adjustment on their next stop. Carl says the car is starting to come around, but it's just not to his liking. Still a little loose, Marty.
Matt, Jason Keller had a brand new car built for this racetrack. He was surprised when it got on the track yesterday. It was very fast, very happy with it so far. A little bit loose to start off with. Car gets better the longer he runs. David?
Good run so far for Ryan Moore, the young rookie in his first ride now for the DEI team. Running 15th, he's picked up a few positions from his start. Marty?
They had the 41 car of Reed Sorensen trying to make his way up through the field. He, like most other cars, had to play with it for a little bit loose to start the race off with, meaning the back end wanted to swing out, but the car is getting much better for Reed, 3rd place man in the championship. Dave?
Ashton Lewis's car, another one of those cars that is not handling well, wants to spin out when it gets to the middle of the corner. They will try to adjust on that at their first opportunity. Matt?
Reagan Smith had a great qualifying effort. Started 5th, trying to knock down a solid run, trying to build some consistency, taking over in the 58 car. Said this is going to be one of their better runs, loves the flat miles, and it's showing. Meanwhile, the 27, David Green, a former winner here, says the car is handling off and awesome. He's just mired back in traffic. Hardy.
Matt, Randy LaJoie started 28th today, the former New Hampshire winner, having a pretty good go of it. Very happy with the car, chassis coming to him, getting a little bit better the longer he runs. It'd be fun to see LaJoie have a top 10 run today, Weber, wouldn't it?
That would be a lot of fun, Marty. He's very entertaining, isn't he?
Absolutely, Weber. Always entertaining.
Tyler,
much like you.
Those are the top 20 after 42 laps. Tyler Walker, Tim Fedewa, John Wood, Jeff Green, and Stacy Compton round out the top 25. That man, Kevin Harvick, leading up front, followed by Kane, Sadler, Hamlin, and Truex Jr. Kevin Harvick leads here in New Hampshire, but Casey Kane has closed the distance, and part of that's because the 21 car of Harvick couldn't get around Brent Sherman.
Kevin's struggling trying to get by the car. I tell you, passing is such a struggle at these racetracks. Just a few laps ago, we saw Elliott Sadler, the 60 car on the inside, almost made contact. There he is. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Elliott Sadler's going on the inside of Jamie McMurray.
Carl Edwards. Carl Edwards, you
yes.
big dummy.
I'm sorry. Anyway, Carl Edwards, yes. And Jason Keller, 35, almost gets in the back of him. But no harm, no foul. They continue on. And Carl Edwards trying to chase down the 18 of J.J. Yaley.
Harvick leads. Kane chasing. Time for the Aqua Velva trivia question. Who was the last driver to win New Hampshire's Busch Series race and then the Busch Series championship in the same year? Caution on the track.
I'll guess Martin Truex Jr.
Marty, you got a quick guess?
Quick guess on that one.
Who are we just talking about?
Well,
it's a lot of fun.
Really, Randy? Randy LaJoy.
There you go.
Wow.
Good one, Weber.
Won it in '96 and repeated as the champion the following year.
Scott Lagasse has Baxter in the fence.
I think there's more to that story.
He looked like he was a little angry, didn't he?
He did.
I don't know if he's angry at himself or someone else. Might be someone else. Because to get in that position, sometimes you need help.
Yeah.
But it's not hard to get in that position by yourself.
No, that's true. Especially at this racetrack. We keep hearing the drivers talking about loose getting in. And loose getting in means the car is trying to spin out and do what Scott did.
Brent Sherman is the lucky dog. So he will come around and get back on the lead lap. So Sherman fighting Harvick pays off.
Paid off a little bit. That's right.
Okay, we're 50 in. You coming in?
You bet. I guarantee you. All coming in, making those adjustments.
And here's something we're going to talk about today and a lot tomorrow in the next Nextel Cup race. This is a very tight pit road. The stalls not really that big. There's a retaining wall. A lot of traffic, not much space. Matt.
Back in 2003, Jimmy Johnson dominated the Cup races from this very pit stall where Casey Kane's pitting the car. Going to make a track bar adjustment to try to free the car up. Marty?
Matt Elliott Sadler, middle of the screen, said, man, I just cannot get this car to turn in the middle of the corner. That's a common complaint in New Hampshire. Too tight. One round of wedge in the right rear. Dave?
Bottom of your screen, Johnny Sauter. Here's the trick. Don't over adjust. The car went to the exact opposite extreme that it started with, so air pressure adjustments only for the one team. They're on the left side. Alan?
Kevin Harvick, the race leader, into the very first stall in the turn one end of pit road. Track bar and air pressure adjustments. And a very good stop by his crew. He's going to get out first.
Boy, not by much.
No kidding. So Harvick wins the race off of pit road. Under caution in New Hampshire. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. This is Greg Biffle on pit road a moment ago being held by the NASCAR official.
Let's go inside the pit window and show you why NASCAR is holding the 66 car. Here he is. He's coming down pit road to make a pit stop. And you'll see back on the left rear, we're going to that just in a second. We're going to look at that spot back there. If that rear tire is on or rearward off that white line, he's pitting out of the box. That's a one-lap penalty.
Boy, that is just right there, too, isn't it?
Yes, just very, very close. But Bill Weber talked about how tight these pit stalls are. He stopped as short as he could so he could get out, but unfortunately on the line. Marty?
Let's chat with Newt Moore, who's doing his best job to politic. How close were you to that line, Newt?
We were on the left side of it, and the official waited till we done had the car up, wheels off, before he decided that we made a mistake, which we didn't. But, you know, once they make it, it's done. So we'll get it back. We got Greg Biffle. We got a good pit crew. We got a good car. We'll get it back.
Is this something you can recover from?
Absolutely. It's only 50 laps in, 54. We got a good car. We are.
All right, very good. And their complaint was they wanted the official to tell them that they were over the line before the work started, help them out a little bit rather than letting them do the work and then penalizing them.
But the problem is the official is in the front of the car, not the rear of the car.
Yeah, but look at their pit stall. They have one of the best pit stalls here at Loudon. You and I have been talking about this since this morning because he's got an easy in. So you try and stop short, he just stopped too short.
Yeah, if we just stop it there. See, you want to come in like that and stop short so that when you get finished with it, you can just turn on the pit road. obviously stopped a little bit too short and was on the white line.
Brent Sherman gets the Ballpark Lucky Dog Award. He was the first car off the lead lap. So Brent gets his lap back. Ballpark Lucky Dog Award.
There you go. Attaboy Brent.
And that was the car that was battling with Harvick. And that's what allowed Kane to close in under the green flag. So by Sherman working that hard, he gets himself back on the lead lap. Double file restart, 55 laps complete.
Looks like Biffle's up third, car on the inside. There'll be a little anger in this drive for the next few laps, don't you think?
I think so. Here we go. Green flag. Harvick and Kane trying to get away. Truex Jr. third in that line.
Well, that's a great pit stop by that 8-car's crew. Martin Truex's crew. Man, oh man, what did you win, about 5th? It came out 3rd.
Maybe.
Hey guys, take a good look at the grill of that 8 car. See if there's some damage there. That's what the team is concerned. They say he's damaged the grill and some of the traffic early in the race. And on this very warm day here in New England, they are hoping that doesn't come back to haunt them.
Yeah, it looks like he's knocked it in just a little bit, but hard to say how much damage what kind of trouble he could be in, but it doesn't look that bad to me, Alan.
The car looks awfully fast. It's not hurting it right now, but temperature-wise, I think is what they're worried about.
Scott Lagasse treated and released from the infield care center. He brought out the most recent caution.
Oh!
That would be Greg Biffle, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would, in the 66 car. And here we see Clint Bowyer in the 2 trying his best to get by the lap car of Boston Reed in the 5.
That's Biffle in the 66, the Duraflame machine. Marty, how's the Biff?
He hadn't said a whole lot, Bill.
Caution's out.
John Wood is in the 47 car. He's made heavy contact with the outside retaining wall, and Randy LaJoie in the 34 car is right in front of him, also some heavy damage.
Wow, you're not kidding. You got both ends. So Randy will not be going
on the
to...
right front damage, towed way out. Right front towed way out.
See if we can see what happened. Remember, see LaJoie coming in the corner on the inside of... Oh, he just loses control, and up the racetrack he goes right in front of John Wood.
That is a hard hit.
It was. What do you think? What do you reckon? The brakes just locked up the rear brake or something?
Very strange deal.
Wow.
What that was. We missed all that.
Yeah,
that's a different wreck.
Oh, yeah. That was on board with Ashton Lewis. So LaJoie on pit road. Harvick leads. Wacky stuff in New Hampshire.
That frustrated John Wood has brought the number 47 car back to the Busch Series garage. What happened in that wreck, John?
Well, I mean, we had no business being back there in the first place. It's a shame for Clorox the way we've been handling these races. We've had such really good cars and done nothing with it. It looked like LaJoie just lost it and wrecked. I can't wait to see if he blames this one on me too.
I don't think he'll blame this one on you, John. I'm glad to see you're okay. This is a heavily damaged race car. I do not think they will be back out on the racetrack anytime soon, Bill.
Thanks, Marty. Dave Blaney, the lucky dog. Kevin Harvick, the race leader, and the green flag is out.
Green flag,
This time, Casey Kane didn't clear the cars a lap down, and that gives Harvick a little bit of breathing room, not much.
Greg Biffle in the 66. A pit road penalty took him off the lead lap, and he is working hard to get it back. Falls in behind Truex Jr.
Now Biffle is the first car 1 lap down, so should the caution flag come out, which it probably will pretty soon, but in the next few laps he would be the recipient of the lucky dog, be back on the lead lap.
But it might be fun to watch Biffle try and pass Harvick. to get that lap back, don't you think?
Well, he was up beside of him on the restart, and he's fallen back to about 5th or 6th spot. So at this point, Biffle doesn't have the car to race with the 21 of Kevin Harvick.
Okay, we'll watch this and go back to Marty in the garage.
Bill, Randy LaJoie has limped his car back to the garage area. Your take on that accident?
I shouldn't have been back there. I messed up in the pits, missed our pit stall. I had a car that I wanted to follow in. It was the wrong car, so it cost me to go back out. And you got to drive these cars so loose on the beginning of these runs. You got a lot of give and take out there, and I got a little loose coming off of 2, and I kind of got pushed down to the apron, if there is an apron, going into 3, and the car just freed up, and I chased it and collected a couple guys. I hated it. The Dollar General car was running, you know, after have about 10 laps in the air come up. It was a good race car, and I proceeded to tear it up.
Thanks, see you in Pikes Peak.
I'll be there.
Two-time series champion Randy LaJoie. That's what you were talking about.
Oh, man. I think Boyer got a pretty good bite off that corner and got in the back of Denny Hamlin in the 20 car. Just a little bit.
These cars, if you're off just a little bit, it's going to feel like that rear end wants to snap around on you all day.
Well, like Randy says, I mean, to get the cars to turn here, you've got to try to run the car loose. And it's tough. It's a tough place to get happy with the race car.
I'm surprised how well the outside of the racetrack is working today. They're getting a good grip. We see these guys get on the inside. They've got position on them coming off the corner. They can't get that momentum to pass down the straightaway. Outside line comes off the corner strong.
Guys in the Cup garage paying attention to that?
I'm sure they are.
Denny Hamlin in the 20. Menard in the 11 right behind him. Harvick continues to lead.
Those guys are 6th and 7th. Hamlin is 6th. Menard is 7th. Clint Boyd in a 2-car.
Matt Kenseth in that green 17. How about Hamlin, Alan?
Yeah, Bill, remember we reported earlier that he had damaged that left front fender. Well, the crew thinks they fixed that on the last pit stop. Also made an air pressure adjustment in the left front to get the car to turn better in the corners, and put on a set of scuff tires, some tires that have been out, run a few laps in practice, brought back in and taken off the car. So Hamlin having a very solid run. His best career finish in the NASCAR Busch Series so far was a 6th place at Milwaukee a month ago. He might be able to top that today.
Matt Kenseth, the 17 car, up to 5th. He says the car is just starting really loose on the run, but he says that will be good for later, because as the track begins to tighten up over the course of the run, the car will just get better and better.
Thanks, Matt. Biffle's car is not as good as it looked to be earlier.
No, it's not a very good race car right now. They need to make some adjustments on his car, but he still would be the recipient of the lucky dog if the caution flag should come out.
All he's got to do is stay ahead of Boston Reed, who's in the 5 car, and he's got a lot of track position on him right now.
Biffle was hit for a penalty on pit road for pitting outside of the box. A very tight call. Now anxious to get back on the lead lap, but as Benny pointed out, could benefit from the lucky dog. Kevin Harvick in that Reese's machine leads. 71 laps are complete of 200 here at New Hampshire. 77 laps are complete in New Hampshire, and Kevin Harvick in that machine has led every one of them. He's pretty stout today. Started on the pole and led them all. Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
No.
But we doesn't. Let's go back in the field a little bit and see if we can't find Kenny Wallace. He lost an engine on his qualifying lap, so on the starting grid he was 42nd, had to go to the back of the field, which is only one spot, 43rd because of the engine change by rule, up to 21st.
Yeah, he had to, and he earned it. That's a lot of cars. Here's riding on board with him, and you can see he's in heavy traffic right now. Tony Raines right in front of BP making a move.
It's Tony Raines trying to go by Jeff Green. Raines in the yellow 33 and Jeff Green in the red 4. And Kenny says, well, since the door's open, I think I'll just go on in.
Well, I'll try. Please try, yes. Alan, how about that 22 car?
Well, Bill, Kenny's got a lot of motivation. First of all, the natural desire to win that any race driver has, but also notice the quarter panels on that race car.
There's nothing on them.
Yeah, his sponsor ran into some difficulties in their business and had to terminate their agreement with the race team, or mutually the team terminated the agreement with the sponsor is really how it came down. Kenny wants to find some sponsorship. I talked to him this morning. He said, you know the best way to find a sponsor? Run up front. We're trying to win this championship. We won't let this set us back. He's doing awfully well today.
And Alan, he's been pretty upbeat about that sponsorship parting. He knows it wasn't anything they could do anything about at this time, and they're trying to make the best of it.
Well, you know, Kenny's been around the block in this racing business for a couple of years. He's made a couple laps. He understands that businesses have problems just like race teams do. In this case, the sponsor that had been with him for 4 years. He said, I'm very thankful for all they've done for my career. Now we have to just find somebody else and make it fit.
And the thing about Kenny's, like Alan said, he's been around a long time. He's been the peaks and valleys, probably as much, if not more, than any other driver in this garage area. So, I mean, you know, Kenny understands how the business works, and he doesn't quit. He doesn't give up.
Just in front of him, the 33 car, Dave.
And that's Tony Raines. He was 29th on the lap 57 restart, worked his way all the way up to 19th on that last stop. His car would push toward the wall in the middle of the corner, so they made a chassis and an air pressure adjustment. Plus, they slammed one of those spring rubbers into the right rear spring. That'll make the car turn a little bit better.
It's not easy to do. Harvick continues to lead.
Second and a half on the second place car of Casey Kane. Matt, what do you think? Can Kane run him down?
BP, he's certainly trying. Says the car is still chattering the right front on entry and a little on exit, but the bigger concern for the team since the drop of the green, they have been experiencing some kind of radio problem. One of the crew members' radios keys open. Now Casey can still hear his spotter, but we've got a caution for debris on the backstretch. But Wally, it is distracting for the driver.
Yeah, there's no question. If the mic is keyed open all the time, I mean, I would shut the radio off. It's very, very distracting when you're trying to concentrate driving a race car and you're hearing that all the time. That is no good.
So the caution is out for debris, and guess who the lucky dog is?
That guy.
Yep, Greg Biffle. Had the pit road penalty, got knocked off the lead lap. Held on to that spot. He's the first car off of the lead lap, so he is the lucky dog. He will get to come around and be on the lead lap. So,
Right here. We got 24 lappers.
Marty, how about strategy here?
I don't know, Weber, what do you think? I mean, I think you stay out here. You know, you've got to save these last two sets for later in the race. So I think Elliott Sadler's team, the team in my area, third right now, they will most likely stay out. That's the debate right now, but I would stay out. What do you think, BP and Wally?
I think you're right. I think if you're up front, for sure you stay out. If you're in the back or in the middle, you know, gamble it.
Matt, about Kane?
Well, talking over pit strategy down here in the 79 pit at Casey Kane, they're saying they can't make it, obviously, to the end. So why give up track position? Get yourself in a bad position and make what right now is a great day into a bad day.
I mean, they've got to make one more stop. Right. So they might as well wait till they can get it within their window of making the rest of the way and then make that stop.
So the question, I'm sorry, go ahead.
They can probably run to 150 laps.
So the question is, who's going to be the first guy to pit and who's going to follow him after that?
Well, some guys back in the middle of the pack that are having handling problems, some kind of mechanical problems, they'll come in. Greg Biffle will certainly come in and make a pit stop. Don't you think, Alan?
Oh, man, a long debate on the radio for Kevin Harvick, the race leader, BP. That whole thing you guys were just talking about, track position versus tires to the finish. Ricky Byers just made the call a second ago. Stay out, Kevin, stay out. And then gave him his reasoning about needing to pit one more time. Dave?
The one car of Johnny Sauter said, guys, we are a wreck waiting to happen. That's why they want to pit so badly. So Johnny's going to bring it down pit road. They're going to stick 2 wrenches through the back window. It's going to be a track bar and wedge adjustment. Johnny's car just not handling the way it did yesterday. In fact, he said, Joe, why don't we go back to the way we had it yesterday? Because that was a great setup, and we qualified second today, Alan.
Well, Martin Truex Jr. is going to give up his track position to come down pit road because he's having a lot of trouble getting his car to turn in the corners. So they made the decision to come in, make an air pressure adjustment on the car, get a fresh set of tires, and try and make up some track position later by not spending as much time on pit road on the next pit stop. Dave?
Jamie McMurray on and off of pit road now. No rear grip. The car wants to spin out. It's so loose, so they drop the track bar on that 64 car. Under caution here at New Hampshire. Come back for more of the New England 200 in a moment.
Green flag is out at New Hampshire. Kevin Harvick continues to lead. Reed Sorensen in 12th. The highest running car that just pitted. Reed took 2 tires. Some guys took 2, some took 4.
Oh, Casey Kane, that 79 is trying it on the outside.
Trying to get him right on the start. Harvick's led every lap so far.
Hey, Casey's been good high in 3 and 4, so he may just pull this off down here.
Look at this on the outside.
Wow.
That was strong.
That was strong. Casey Kane, I am impressed.
Matt, they've been working on that radio issue down there. Can you help us out with that?
They basically have turned off every crew member's radio except for the crew chief, the spotter, who is Cole Kane, his cousin, and also they've kept the radio on, obviously, inside the car, but Casey has turned the radio on and off in the car to see if that may be the problem as well. Basically, the problem is fixed right now, but they will turn them all back on when they get ready to make their final stop.
Casey Kane to the front. 8 of the top 15 cars pitted under that last caution.
Now we see the 21 car of Harvick is back behind the 79 and starts to pick up that arrow push we talked about last week, and makes it more difficult. And as a matter of fact, it looks like Casey Kane is pulling away from Harvick a little bit.
So Harvick's driving a totally different race car right now
than he had when he was in front. Right. I agree.
I bet he doesn't like this one as much.
No, this one does not quite as good as that one that was in front.
Elliott Sadler runs 3rd. Kenseth in 4th. Denny Hamlin in 5th. There's Kenseth in this green and white 17 machine.
We're going to keep our eye up on Truex. He's in 11th now, but he's got new tires.
And he's the leader in the championship standings. That car pulls up pretty good, but can't seem to get by. The top 4 guys from the Nextel Cup Series. Drop back a little bit. Alan, what do you got for us?
I was just listening to Kevin Harvick on his radio after Casey Kane went by him, Bill. I'm sure Benny and Wally can relate to this. About a lap later, he keyed his microphone and he called out to his crew, "Where did that come from?" Talking about Casey Kane.
Yeah.
I'm expecting that.
I was wondering the same thing on the outside. Who would ever thought to try it on the outside other than Michael Waltrip or Casey Kane?
But Casey's one of those guys, yeah. I mean, he likes running that high line, and we've watched him today. His car works good up there.
Tell you what, we need to keep an eye, like you said, on Truex.
Yeah, Truex
He is on the move.
That Pro Shop car is passing about a car a lap right now. He's up to 9th, working on another one.
Tyler Walker, the 38 car, loses a spot to Truex. Stanton Barrett, 36 car. Running 10th spot, a great run for Stanton Barrett today.
This would be huge for Truex, wouldn't it, Alan?
Oh, yeah, it would be huge. This track, as he was coming up in his career, was like Daytona for the NASCAR Busch North Series drivers, Bill. I just talked to his crew chief, Kevin Mannion. I said, "What you thinking on pitting when some of the others in front of you didn't?" He said, "We're already back up to 8th. We were going to be running 6th within a couple laps the way things were going anyway. We haven't lost anything, and we did what we needed to do to try and win."
You know, like exactly. I mean, their car, they weren't happy with the car, so they took advantage to come in, put tires on it, make some adjustments.
Fastest cars on the track here. Still got 105 to go.
Good move.
Truex restarted 13th, up to 8th. And that's a fantastic explanation by Alan of what this New Hampshire track means, not only to the fans here, but certainly to the racers up here. This is their Daytona.
Well, Stanton Barrett there.
Yes, sir, going by Tyler Walker, trying to on the outside. As Kenny Wallace watches.
He's going to go ahead and follow Stanton if he can pull it off.
Wallace in 11th.
And Stanton Barrett does pull it off. Good job.
Good run. Again, different teams using different strategies here.
Reed Sorensen, the 41 car, I know on his stop just changed right side tires. Trying to get a little more track position.
Hasn't worked really well for him, though. Restarted 11th, has fallen to 12th.
Oh, he's driving it in there. Oh, he did.
I'm going by you now, I think.
Almost went through him.
Yeah. Well, that's what you have to do here. If you can't get by them and they don't let you by, you got to go through them sometimes. Marty, about the 41.
Yeah, I don't know if the strategy is going to work or not, Bill. They decided for the 2 tires because they've had a pretty decent car today. They just need a little bit of position up front. So they decided on a 2-tire stop as we have a battle for the lead. Harvick trying to get it back from Casey Kane.
And still trying. Kane holds on.
That's going to be tough, I think, for Kevin to try to pass that car on the bottom. What do you think, Alan?
Well, I just talked with his crew chief, Ricky Byers. I said, what is Kevin saying? Is everything okay? He said, everything's fine, other than where did that come from? He said, our lap times are the same as they were before the caution. We're in good shape. And his crew is cheering him on as he takes the lead.
Well, he just go right by him.
Yep. I agree. He's in good shape. But meanwhile, the 90 car of Elliott Sadler, we'll have to see. Once these guys get lined up, he looks like he might be as fast as those front 2 cars.
How about Elliott Sadler? Was fastest last lap, Marty.
And he's doing a great job, Bill. And when Todd Parrott asked about pitting last time, caution on the racetrack, Bill.
Yep. Wow.
Greg Biffle is a factor in the fence.
Yes, he has.
One more coming, you're good now. We back straight in. Newt, straight in, got some damage. Spoiler's pushed down.
Biffle, 9th in the standings in the NASCAR Busch Series. This will hurt that. Of course, his focus, the Nextel Cup, but this will be a disappointment.
This car's really going to be hard to handle because he's got the deck lid pushed up to where nowhere at all goes on the rear spoiler. Yeah. Of course, the deck lid's a spoiler now.
I was going to say, he's got a lot of spoiler right now.
You can fix it.
Take a look at it. How about the bottom of the screen here?
Nice. Already wrecking right there.
Yeah, down on the very bottom.
Wow.
I think he turned. It looked like he was turning under the 4 car to try to keep off of him. And that's a nice thing to do, but
that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
Well, here come the guys who didn't pit last time.
But they,
some of them, not all of them,
but they can probably make it the rest of the way.
Right. We are at 100.
All right, we see the 79 car, Casey Kane, completing his tire stop.
That's Boyer on the bottom and Harvick on top of the 21.
Boyer completes his stop.
Kane on the move down pit road. See if Harvick can beat the field off of pit road. He won't.
Truex comes out in front. Stanton Barrett looks like he's next, and then comes Harvick, Casey Kane, Denny Hamlin.
Truex take fuel only, probably.
I would imagine. We'll check on pit road, and we'll sort this field out for you. Elliott Sadler is scored as the race leader. Want to drive in the NASCAR Busch Series? It can be pretty tough. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Coming to get the green this time by Elliott Sadler, a long pit stop. They had a lug nut issue on the right front, and this is his crew chief, Todd Parrott, and his reaction to the poor stop. It's that or he just got the Red Sox score, and it wasn't good. I'm not sure exactly which.
He was not happy.
No.
Real good, buddy. Real good. Sticking up them.
Top, the first 7 guys didn't pit. Denny Hamlin is the race leader, followed by Jamie McMurray and J.J. Yaley. And this is going to be a blast.
I'm not too sure why these top 7 cars did not pit. I'm a little confused as to why not.
Dale Quarterly was the lucky dog.
Alan, you got any idea why Hamlin did not pit?
Well, I'll tell you why, BP. First of all, he's got great track position. Second of all, his crew chief, Peli Barraclough, says if we get 4 more laps of caution, we're going to be good to go to the finish and a green-white checker on fuel. He said this race is starting to look a lot like last year. Remember last year, Matt Kenseth stayed out late, led the last 50 and change laps, and won this race. Dave?
I checked with crew chief for the 64. That's Blake Bainbridge, and he said, you know what? We've got great track position. Where'd you hear that before? He also said with those caution laps, we now can make it to the end on our fuel. They took 2 tires on the lap 98 caution on the right side and made an adjustment because the car was still a little bit tight. Matt?
Logie told me they're still a few laps shy. They're just hoping for some caution flag laps, but they've now got track position. They have fought overheating issues. Cosmetic damage to the race car. They have made so many stops on pit road today. Now they're just hoping to capitalize on track position.
Did we mention that track position was really important?
It's important here. I've heard that. Yeah, I think you were telling me that at dinner last night, weren't you?
Jason Leffler in the 32 car. Car we were just talking about.
He's 4th.
Oh, he got spin over and turn. Boston Reed has looped it, and
caution.
Gonna have some right side damage, right nose and right side.
Yeah, got a little damage to the right side.
We need a big hammer.
No flaps, the nose crushed in. You're gonna have to pull the nose out.
There he is, right there. Just got loose.
Just lost it. Just lost control and went up and just grazed the wall with the right front.
Right along here. Might make you dizzy.
On board with the Lowe's onboard camera.
We just went around, Jim. You're all clear, all clear.
It looked like it was chattering.
Yeah, I thought I heard it chatter. Yeah.
Okay, now we saw that Todd Parrott was upset about his team's pit stop. Here is the TNT pit window.
Check out the, let's go inside. We check out the right front tire changer. This fella right here. You'll notice he puts the tire on, the carrier puts it on, Mike picks up the wrench. But guess what? He only has 4 lug nuts. One falls on the ground. He has to pick it up, install it, then go around to the left side. Comes around to the left side. The rear tire is already, tire's off. And he's having trouble with the left front. Man, oh man, is he upset. Just one of those days.
So Elliott Sadler came in first, went out 19th, is now 16th. And again, the top 7 guys didn't stop.
You know, those guys work so hard on these pit stops, and when they make a mistake like that, you don't have to say anything to them because there's nothing you could say that would make them feel any worse. I mean, they take their pit stops very serious.
All right.
1 to go. 129 laps complete.
And these guys that were gambling on fuel, these caution laps, they really play into that strategy because you obviously don't use as much fuel running 50 miles per hour as you do at 150 miles per hour.
Look at all the rubber and trash.
So Denny Hamlin stays out. Remains the race leader. And we're going to go ahead and award him our ExxonMobil Command Performance of the race. And if that fuel holds out and this strategy pays off, that will be a command of performance.
We might award him a trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
And some money.
And a check.
Yeah. You know, Jerry Nadeau met Denny Hamlin today for the first time, and he said, you know, I raced against you online, didn't I? And I guess Hamlin does this all the time. Races guys from all over the country online on the computer.
Did you do that when you were racing, BP?
They didn't know what computers were back then.
Had to get that one in. You got a birthday this week, didn't you, big guy?
Another one.
Yep, congratulations.
Thank goodness. Oh, here we go on the outside.
Nice. Jamie McMurray.
Oh, he almost pulled it off.
Did he get into it?
I think so.
Did he get that? They had that damage from earlier. That damage on the
he does.
left front.
We were told that damage is from earlier.
Think about that guy in 3rd spot, J.J. Yaley. What's going on with him?
Remember you were wondering why those guys stayed out earlier? Guess why the 18 stayed out? Track position, and they can make it on fuel, but that wasn't the case until this caution. Jason Radcliffe told me that they needed more laps after the last caution, and they just got them. Now they can make it to the end.
Running in the 3rd position.
So the guys that were really fast, Harvick, Casey Kane, Martin Truex Jr., they got their work cut out for them right now. They've got a lot of traffic they've got to get through. We talked about how hard it is to pass here, even if you have a faster car.
And these tires just don't seem to fall off.
There's Harvick. How about the 21, Alan?
Yeah, Benny and Wally, I'm sure you can relate to this. Imagine how frustrating it is, folks, for a driver out there to have a dominant car all day and then find himself looking ahead when he's behind the pace car at all these other guys ahead of him on the restart. During that last caution, Kevin Harvick, in a conversation with his crew chief, Ricky Byers, how did we get back here? Can these other guys in front of us make it? Trying to get some understanding of what the big picture in the race is so he can get a better idea of just how hard he has to push and what he has to do to try and get back to the front.
Sometimes that seat isn't the best one in the house, is it, Alan?
Yeah, well, just imagine when you're in there inside that helmet, wrapped in all the headrests and the seat belts and all that, trying to have a grip on what the overall picture of the race is.
Yeah,
it's got to be frustrating, huh?
When you're sitting there, Allie, what you want to hear as a driver from your crew chief is, oh, they all have to stop. You know, they all have to come in, but that's not the case.
And I tell you what, look at this. Harvick is passed on the racetrack by Truex in the 8 car.
He's going to get up on the wheel now. Not that he wasn't before.
Did you hear the air going down the balloon?
The 5-car of Boston Reed pushed to the garage. So Truex and Harvick battle back in the pack. Denny Hamlin has not had a top 5 finish in his 20 races. He's looking for a win. Through the field next. Denny Hamlin continues to lead. That is McMurray, Yaley, Leffler, and Kenny Wallace up to pit. Let's go through the field. Alan, take it away.
All right, well, let's start with this young man from Chesterfield, Virginia, which is just outside of Richmond. Denny Hamlin, former NASCAR local racer in the Virginia area, the Capital District. He's out front trying to pull off his first NASCAR Busch Series win. His crew chief, Cully Barraclough, thinking they're good to the finish on fuel, just encouraging his driver. Remember, you got what you're going to have till the checkered flag, Dave.
Jamie McMurray knows he made contact with the 20. His crew chief knows they made contact with the 20, but they haven't talked about it. They have seen a little fall off in their lap times, the car pushing just a little bit. The 18 car of J.J. Yaley is right. On the lap 98 caution, they made a chassis adjustment and air pressure adjustment to fix that car pushing toward the wall. It is a lot better, Matt.
Jason Leffler, who finished 3rd here 1 year ago, stayed out. They were right at it as far as making it on fuel. Very close. Alan, how's the 22 of Wallace?
Well, Kenny Wallace is having a fine day. Remember, he started last after an engine problem in qualifying. Did not pit under that last caution. He's hanging on to 5th position. Kenny is a former winner here, and as we've documented, in the hunt for this championship, trying to stay in contact. Matt?
Now, Carl Edwards, also in the championship hunt, entered the New Hampshire, 4th in the championship standings. They made just a slight tug on the fender and 5 seconds of fuel, Alan. No tires.
Well, Martin Truex Jr. took right side tires on that last caution flag, trying to get some track position. He is in front of Kevin Harvick, but as Matt just told you, he's got Carl Edwards in front of him as far as the class of cars that did pit under that last caution. Kevin Harvick, I just talked to his crew chief, Ricky Byers. Now that he's back in traffic, he's lost some aerodynamic pressure on that nose. The car not turning as well as he needs to pass those cars in front of him. Matt?
And what a nice drive by Stanton Barrett, the guy who tries to fund his racing operation by being a stuntman. Many movies you've seen at home, having a very solid run. Now, they stayed out very close on fuel day, but they're trying to hold on for a top 10 run.
Ashton Lewis making his 176th start in the NASCAR Busch Series. Stayed out on the last caution. They finally got the car corrected to where it's very drivable for the 25 driver. The 1 car of Johnny Sauter, they also stayed out last time. Actually, they pitted for fuel the last time so they could make it to the end. The car handling a little better for Johnny, though he's very frustrated with the way the front end handles. Matt?
Now, Casey Kane hasn't been able to keep pace with a lot of the cars. His car, 2 stops ago, they over-adjusted, made it severely loose. Now they tried to make an adjustment on the last stop. No tires, just fuel. Meanwhile, the 17 of Kenza took on 4 tires. They feel like that's going to be the game plan to go with, but he really hasn't made a lot of headway, Marty. Mired back in 13.
Matt, you can imagine the frustration of Elliott Sadler after the rough pit stop they had on pit road, saying the car is chattering now. Takes a while for it to come in, but once it does, he is very fast. Maybe out of laps, though, to get back to the front. Alan?
Well, Paul Menard did pit under that last caution. They made a ledge adjustment to try and help the car turn a little bit better in the corner. They've just told him on the radio to be nice and smooth because some of those guys in front of him on older tires are going to be backing up to him. Marty?
Alan, Reed Sorensen is back in the 16th position. They've had a car that's been everywhere today. Loose in, tied off left right now, which means the back end wants to come around going in, and coming off the car doesn't want to turn for him. They went down 2 rounds on the track bar for the 18-year-old last time. Clint Boyer's had an excellent car today, but now he too fighting that problem with being back in traffic. He said, I need more of what you gave me last time if we do get another stop. Dave?
Strong run for Ryan Moore continues. They made an air pressure adjustment for a tight race car back on the lap 119 caution, but he's maintained that spot. Really hasn't moved forward. He's getting laps. That's what he needs to do as a development driver. Marty?
Dave, how about this rally? We talked about it earlier for man Timmy Fedewa, who won here back in 2000. The car right now just starting to come to Tim. Very good on the longer runs. Not so good after a pit stop, but once it does come in, Tim's very happy with it. David?
Tony Raines piloting the Kevin Harvick owned number 33, currently running in the 20th position. They made a pit stop back on lap 119. Put a spring rubber in the right rear. Pretty big adjustment for a tight race car, and it's coming around.
Thank you, guys. The last lap, Kevin Harvick was the fastest. The lap before that, Martin Truex Jr. was fastest. Truex is 7th, Harvick is 8th. Hamlin is the leader in car number 20. 149 laps now, 150 are complete here in Loudon, New Hampshire. 50 to go. Want to take just a second for today's Just for Men hair color rejuvenating moment of the race. This is Denny Hamlin on lap 121. He's coming to pit road. He's coming to pit road.
You did right. Stay out.
They were talking about it the whole time, weren't they?
They couldn't make up their mind whether they wanted to pit or not. And just as he got to enter the pit road, he veered back on the racetrack.
And that move has Denny Hamlin out front here with 155 of 200 laps complete. J.J. Yaley in second, fastest the last lap.
Joe Gibbs Racing having a pretty good day, currently running first and second. Meanwhile, Dave Blaney has taken the Wheeling car to the garage area. Here comes Carl Edwards, a 60 car, as he closes in on the 32 of Jason Leffler. That's a battle for the 4th position.
Kevin Harvick is right behind these guys.
Yeah, and catching them. Harvick and Truex catching this front group.
Matt, how about the latest on Edwards?
Well, Carl Edwards, about 6 or 7 laps ago, asked his spotter, where is the 8 of Truex running down in turns 1 and 2? His spotter said that the 8 is glued to the bottom in those turns, and that's where they feel like Martin is making up time on the 60. So the 60 thought he'll try the bottom as well as he works all over the back of the 32 of Leffler.
Well, did it work for the 60?
It doesn't look like it. He's up to the top right now. I think he's looking for. He's looking for anything right now he can get around that car.
You got more, Matt?
Well, but that was down in 3 and 4. I mentioned down in turns 1 and 2 in the lap before. As he tries a little higher line around the 32 of Leffler, he was trying to work the bottom, the very bottom, down by the line.
I'll tell you one thing. Jason Leffler definitely has a mirror in that car. Not going to help him here.
No, it's not. Because Carl Edwards will drive by on the outside and take that spot away. Put him into 4th.
He sets out after McMurray.
David Stremme has spun up in 3 and 4.
Yellow is out. Yellow is out.
I don't think he's hit the wall that hard.
I don't think he hit it at all, did he?
Yeah, looks like you're right.
That's what Harvick and Truex needed to erase that 4-second gap between them and the leader.
The advantage that Hamlin has, though, is that Truex and Harvick have to pass Leffler, Edwards, McMurray, and Yaley to get to him.
And now it'll be a double file restart. So that'll be even more traffic.
All his lap cars on the inside.
I don't know how many lap cars are going to be on the inside, though. There's only be 2 or 3.
Wow. About that, the 41 car gets a little nudge.
And saved it. And Stremme just looks like he got loose in the middle of all that.
There's 41, the discount tire car.
And Ryan Moore on the inside. Moore takes a spot away, and Jeff Green on the 4th gets in the left rear. And I'm sure that the spotter up in Rue said, trouble in front of you. And when the 25 backed off, Strimmy almost ran the back of him and spun trying to board the 25 of Ashton Lewis.
Pit road is open. See if anybody has any interest.
At this point, surely there's not going to be any takers. Well, here, oh no, a fake.
Wow. Almost waited too long. So the leaders stay out. 40 to go at New Hampshire. Their first 13 cars did not pit. The one car did. Johnny Sauter wasn't happy with his tires.
So he'll have to restart 23rd.
So he lost basically 10 positions by doing that.
And with 36 laps to go. Dave, with 36 laps to go, how far forward does he expect to go?
Well, he wasn't happy with his tires because they were old.
Well,
he had a new set here on pit wall. That's why they took him, and he wasn't happy with the handling of the car.
What, Denny Hamlin got a terrific restart in that 20 car.
And you had a good point, Wally. It was a single file restart.
Yeah, there were some guys that are a few laps down, but they don't belong up there.
Contact between the 64 and 18, and J.J. Yaley's losing 1, 2, and here comes Harvick.
Oh, it's going to get tight down there.
Oh, man, they're trying to wreck.
You said it was going to, might be ugly. It might be.
It's going to be ugly.
Edwards under the car of McMurray. Oh, caution is out. Moore, Ryan Moore. Too bad.
Is that big damage on the rear of that car?
And the black flag was out too.
Somebody.
Yeah.
You okay, Ryan? Yep.
They were black flagging the 38.
Must have done something on the restart.
We'll find out.
Ryan Moore has some flat tires.
Casey Atwood would be the lucky dog.
Again?
Yep.
And he was the last lap. Last caution.
Yep.
Might get them all back.
This is our last commercial break, so we'll get it in here under caution. Come back, take you to the checkered flag in New Hampshire. Still under caution for Ryan Moore's crash. Take a look. 81 car on the right-hand side of the screen.
He's on the inside of Tim Fedewa.
Now he's in the inside of Casey Kane.
And Tim Fedewa's didn't like that move, so he's going to turn him off turn 4.
Wow. So Ryan Moore out of the race. Going to go back to the hauler and watch the Unibet on TV. Just wait a minute. They didn't give me the key. Oh, man.
Somebody will be here in a minute with the key.
Wait till Mom gets home. Boy. Frustrated. Wanted to finish, didn't he, BP?
Yes, he did. He wanted to run all the laps. He is so disappointed.
So Denny Hamlin continues to lead. Pace vehicle heads for pit road. Hamlin, Edwards, McMurray, Yaley, and Leffler. And watch this charge into turn 1. Green flag's out. Here we go.
Tell you what, that 60 car, Carl Edwards, has not been a slouch.
Leffler's taking a look. 32 car.
And Harvick's taking a look at Leffler in the 21.
I think Harvick's just waiting for that opportunity. Well,
he's going to drive it in. And Truex is right on the bumper of the 21. Right there. Truex inside the 21. That's not what Kevin wanted.
Battle for spots. 6 spots. And give it to Truex. The crossover move by Harvick. Can't quite stick on the bottom of the racetrack, so Truex puts Harvick back another spot.
Truex to 7. Check that to 6th. About that 8 rod, Allen.
Well, unfortunately for Martin Truex, his comments on the handling of his car are that it's got a very bad push. That's the term the drivers use when the front end doesn't want to turn in the corner as well as they needed to. He can't get back in the gas quick enough. How this thing's going to have to work, guys, for Truex to win. Pass one, get a caution. Pass one, get a caution. You know how that goes up there, Bill.
Yeah, he might get one here too, Allen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's the pack about running back 10th and 11th behind that lead bunch right there.
And we got
really
our yellow.
up. Yep.
Gone
Johnny
Oh,
Sauter.
look out. Wow, man, oh, man. Brent Sherman that was a close call.
Yeah, or a close shave.
Close shave by the 38 car, yes.
And this wreck's been going on for a long time. I mean, Johnny Sauter was in the left rear of Brent Sherman and just pushed and pushed and pushed until he got him sideways and turned him around.
And the lucky dog would be
Casey Atwood, I would guess.
And that would put him back on the lead lap.
He was 3 down.
Not anymore.
And now he's back on the lead lap.
173 laps complete. Let's go back and watch it. You were watching it, weren't you?
I watched the whole thing.
Well, I have fresh tires. I'm coming by.
We're through. Whichever.
And then watch that.
Oh, wow. That was close.
That was.
There's a great shot. And watch all these guys just miss him.
Oh, man. Looks like he was running 150 miles an hour.
Reminded me of the Jarrett deal down here a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we'll see a promo with that in it. Let's check on pit road, starting with Marty.
It's a busy calculator down here in Jamie McMurray's pits. Blake, can you make it now on fuel?
Yeah, that should have clinched it right there. We've been saving it. So our car's a little tight, so I'm concerned. You know, we burn more fuel when we're tight, but keeping our fingers crossed and hoping we don't have a green-white checker.
And remember one thing, they took 2 tires on the last stop, so their left side tires are 20 laps older than everyone else. Dave?
With Jason Radcliffe in the 18. Jason, your spotter just told you that the 64 apologized for bumping into you and would let you by if you got to him. What do you think of that?
I would say he probably will. I mean, I know Jamie. He gave it to us a while ago. He's a pretty smart racer. I can't believe he got into us the first time. And I'd say half of what he's saying is he's probably scared he's going to get wrecked. And maybe he does feel sorry about it. We'll see.
All right, guys, trying to work things out down here, Matt.
Brad Parrott, who are you more concerned about, the 20 who's leading of Hamlin or the 64?
I'm really worried about Carl right now. You know, he's up on that wheel in the Charter Communications Ford, and he's being patient right now. We got to run about.
Concerned he's not going to be patient?
Yeah, I'm very concerned. You know, I mean, we come here for a top 5 finish, and he sees that leader, and he wants to go get him real quick. And just like every Charter subscriber, they're up on their seat, on their couch right now, watching that Charter cable.
And Brad wanted me to point out that they have picked the very pit where Matt Kenseth won from last year, and he started the same exact place. But Alan, they're not superstitious.
And Cully Barraclough is the crew chief for young Denny Hamlin. Are you having to tell this young man anything to keep him calm with a win so close?
No, he's calmer than I am. I know Carl real well. He's a hard charger. Denny's doing a great job using that JGR horsepower to get a good restart. Rockwell Automation Chevrolet's running good. I almost said fourth, but I didn't.
He got all of them in. They just told him on the radio, just like another Saturday night short track shootout. And Denny said, yeah, I've won a few of those.
That's right. 25 laps to go, Alan, like another Saturday night shootout.
Exactly what it is on a Saturday afternoon. Now, the Nextel Cup Series here tomorrow, and all those seats up there, there's a person for every one of them.
Got a lot of good shots behind him on this shootout, though.
Okay. 25 to go. Let's see what happens. Hamlin up front. Green flag back out in New Hampshire.
Green flag.
Oh, here we go. Out of the lead. Carl is trying his best to get up there. Oh, man. If they can run a lap or two, I think that the 20 car can drive away, but
they charge into 3. Here comes Carl.
Carl drove that car in that time.
Did. You knew he was gonna, didn't you?
But when you drive it in that deep, you have trouble getting off, and that's the problem he had. Could not get off the corner with Denny Hamlin.
McMurray in 3rd. Okay, we'll stay with the leaders. Let's check in with Marty.
Bill Ryan Moore back in the garage, and what an outstanding run you had today, Ryan. Was there intent on that wreck from Tim Theodor's behalf, in your opinion?
Oh, yeah, there definitely was. There's no doubt. But
like Michael Waltrip says, if you got nothing good to say, don't say it at all. I just want to thank Oreo and Ritz for giving me and DEI the opportunity to put this together. I owe a lot to them, and I'm honored to drive this DEI car. Just had a decent day going, and just a shame that it happened like that.
And then we felt bad for you because your hauler was locked when you got back here and you couldn't get in.
Yeah, I just wanted to go sit down, cool off for a minute, but it's all good. I'm still young, and I got a lot of races yet left, and I guess he doesn't have much time left to prove himself, so it's all good.
An impressive debut for this young Maine native. He'll be around for a long time to come.
You call that a zing?
Yeah, you got to get the shot in when you can, you know. So, tell you what, with that checkered flag almost in the air, Carl Edwards is up on the wheel as much as you can get up on the steering wheel. He is trying his best to get close enough to that 20 car to at least, as Earnhardt would say, rattle his cage.
Well, that guy driving that 8 car is up on the wheel too, because he's just moved into the 4th spot and he's coming.
Martin Truex Jr. Denny Hamlin, a Busch Series regular with a couple of Nextel Cup stars.
Look at how good that car works on the bottom. I mean, right now, he is on a rail and he's passing cars, so these guys are in trouble in front of him right now.
Truex to 3rd.
Whereas Harvick kind of lost the handle, it seems, on his car because he hasn't really been able to make any gains, but Truex is he's on a mission.
Evans back in 7th.
Oh, we got trouble in 3 and 4 again.
Tony Raines around.
And Ashton Lewis.
A lot of damage to Tony's car.
This falls right into Truex's hands.
He looks like he might be going after somebody.
Ooh, watch it. He's going to wreck again.
Yep, he just wrecked himself.
See, sometimes when you're going after people, you got to make sure that you can get to them.
Let's see what he's going to do now.
Back up.
Kind of back into the wall.
Oh, man. He just dropped a lot of fluid on this racetrack, and that's going to take some cleaning. Ooh, that's oil, too.
A lot of stuff coming out of it.
Yeah, you think?
Nice. Bub's so close to the wall, he can't get out of the car.
Well, let's see. How many laps we got left? 19 is going to take. It's going to take a bunch to clean this up.
Yeah, it's going to have about a 10-lap shootout.
Steve Grissom, who is 8 laps down, is the lucky dog. Let's see what happens here.
There's probably some finger pointing. Well, let's see. 25 still out there? Yeah.
Driver and crew chief 33 to the NASCAR Hall
off, but I ain't really sure why.
after the race for a meeting. Those meetings probably aren't a lot of fun.
No, they're not a lot of fun. And they're trying to get the hood up to so they can get the wrecker hooked onto it as Tony gets out of the car and
looking for his stuff. They are going to red flag this race.
Now that's probably a good idea because it is going to take a long time to get all this fluid cleaned up.
And that means whoever Tony might have been going after will not be coming around at this point, so he will get in the ambulance for the mandatory trip to the care center.
So I don't know why he would be mad at the 25, if he was even mad at the 25. Unless this started further back.
On board the 25 of Ashton Lewis.
You're there. Come on, stay in it. All right, crank her up. Come on.
So he went around too.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
On board with Brent Sherman as he watches all this going on and gets below them. I heard the spotter say that the 25 car chopped us going in the corner. And here he's trying to get back going again, and all that oil under the wheels, he just lost control and hit the wall again.
Then he backed up across the track and left all kinds of oil down there, so the red flag is out so they can clean up the mess.
I'm glad they did that.
Yes.
I mean, you know, red flag it.
You and every one of those guys.
Well, especially Martin Truex. who seems to have a
Yeah.
very good race car right now, and he probably, maybe in 10 laps, he couldn't pass Denny Hamlin, but in 15, he might.
I think this is a great practice. In fact, I think there are a handful of races where this probably could have been used in the next Hookup Series this season. Go ahead and red flag it with 18 or 20 to go instead of running around down there for 8 or 10 laps and only having an 8-lap race to the end. Matt.
Tony Raines has walked out of the Infield Care Center. Frustrating end of your day, Tony. What happened?
Well, you can't race with a 25. You know, he was struggling to hit the wall, and I got inside him going into 3, and he just come across me and spun us both out. And then I was going to go talk to him, but my car wouldn't get there, so it was probably a good thing. But
is that what you were trying to do there?
Yeah, that's why I hit the wall again. It was kind of stupid, but I was pretty mad. You know, we just had a frustrating day. We weren't running good. The Moose was a little overheated or something. Car just wouldn't perform like we wanted it to, and then you wreck running in the back like that. Just very frustrating, but we'll fix that car and see if we can't get it to run better next time.
Martin Truex Jr., Benny Parsons, you got me?
Got you, Benny.
You got some of these guys in front of you?
Well, I don't know. I'm good. I'm really good for a couple laps after restart, so I can see me pick a couple cars off. So we'll have to see if we have a couple more or a green, white check or something. I got something for them. Just got to thank all the guys in the pits. Bass Pro Chevrolet, they stuck with it all day long and give us the top 3 out of this thing yet.
Tell him it'll probably be a little bit tougher than Wednesday night. See what he says.
Hey, Wally said it might be just a little bit tougher than Wednesday night.
Yeah, come back, Mike.
Wally Dallenbach said it might be a little bit harder than it was Wednesday night.
Yeah, a little bit. Give a shout out to all them boys at DMP. Had a lot of fun racing this week, and I don't know, little Danny's up there leading. He's real tough on them games too. So see if I can get up here and do a little racing with him again today.
Okay, they're going to fire him up. Good luck to you, Martin.
Danny.
We had a deal at Texas Speedway where Bass Pro and all the tracker boat people, and we had a little match race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he beat you.
Yeah, well, I'll let him tell the rest of the story.
Well, he's busy now.
But it was fun, yeah. We had a good time.
Were you running cars or
what was it?
We were running the school cars. And it was, yeah, it was the stars. I was told where to finish.
Oh, okay. Where did you take finish?
What do you think?
Second.
There you go.
And you didn't like that?
I didn't like that at all. I told them I didn't like it. I said, you're going to hear about it this weekend.
12-minute red flag. The red has been withdrawn. The yellow is out. We check in with Dave.
And I want to pose a question to our former competitors up there in the booth. Remember at Daytona there was a red flag situation near the end of the Busch race, or was it the Cup race, where Greg Biffle talked about the fact that he wasn't able to get any water or anything from the sidelines here during that time?
Yep.
Okay, Jamie McMurray just complained about the same thing during this period, and there's no air moving through the car. Very hot in that race car. What would you guys think about something where they could actually go out and receive water or whatever to help them get to the end of this thing?
Well, they did it at Sonoma a few years ago when there was a long red flag.
They took water out to them? Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems like it seems like a great idea, especially on a day like today. They caught a cloud here in the last 5 minutes, but before that, the sun was really beaten down. And when you've been driving in that car all day, I would imagine just a little fresh, cool water would be great.
That's probably a good point, Dave.
Yeah, it does, cloud or no cloud, Dave. I mean, as hot as these cars are right now, they're like ovens. I mean, with the pipes and the engine and everything is hot in those cars, so it's just an oven inside those cars. So yeah, it would be nice.
Do you remember that race at Sonoma? I think Gordon was leading and one of the track workers
handed him a drink,
and all heck broke loose off pit road, and they ended up taking everybody water.
I remember that. Yes.
We'll get 1 to go at the line this time. Alan, an update on Denny Hamlin.
Well, Bill, just thinking about the position this young man's in and that he's had time to think about over the last few minutes here. A 24-year-old rookie coming off local short tracks. He's learning everything this year. New tracks, radial tires, these heavy cars that they use in NASCAR's top divisions. This racetrack, you heard Carl Edwards talk, that was a Martin Truex talk about running video games. Well, Denny Hamlin's had something else besides a video game to help him learn this racetrack, and that's Mike McLaughlin. Mike, a very successful NASCAR Busch Series driver in his own right, has been coaching the Joe Gibbs Racing development drivers this season. Mike is the 1997 winner at this racetrack. He also won here in NASCAR Modifieds. He also won here in the NASCAR Busch North Series. Pretty good guy to get some coaching from to figure your way around a strange new track, don't you think?
Looks like he's doing a pretty good job training these guys. Of course, it looks like he has some pretty good talent to train as well.
He does.
Talk about Denny Hamlin and J.J. Yaley.
I can't imagine what's going through his head right now.
Getting the best restart of his life.
And they're telling him to get those tires clean, get them nice and clean. He's trying his best.
Pace vehicle will hit pit road, and Denny Hamlin, best career finish, 6th.
There's Steve Grissom getting the.
Now they'll get one to go. They didn't. Either well, something happened. Now it's one to go.
Either you were mistaken,
right.
or
something happened.
Or something happened.
I think you were mistaken.
Hey, I was. Thank you, Bill.
See, first career Busch Series win, Derek Cope in 1994 and Bobby Hamilton Jr. in 02. Can we add another name to that list? 14 laps to go.
It'd be good.
Man.
18 races here in the Busch Series, 18 different winners. This is the 19th visit to this track for this series. Denny Hamlin could be the 19th different winner, or Carl Edwards. Carl seemed like he might have something for him.
He did. I talked to Bobby Hudson, Carl Edwards' spotter,
right,
in the Nextel Cup car, and he said he reminds him so much of Dale Earnhardt. He said he gives nobody a break.
Now the pace vehicle's on pit road, and Denny Hamlin brings them to the green with 15 to go.
Good restart for Denny.
Now, Carl Edwards, are you looking out the windshield or the rear window?
Boy, Denny drove it in there a little bit hard that time. Lost a lot of ground. Carl Edwards.
Truex in 3rd.
Here comes Truex on the inside.
Yeah, he's
trying to get position.
He's going to work the bottom on both these guys, and I don't think they can do anything about it.
No, they can't. Neither one of these cars can get down there, and it's Truex. But he didn't make it yet.
Edwards trying to hang with him.
He did now.
Right on the bumper now of Hamlin. Down the backstretch off of 2. Carl thinking about making the comeback.
Thinking about it. That 8 car get in the corner.
I don't think he can. These guys can't get their cars worked down on the bottom like 2X can.
12 to go. Well, it's no longer a matter of if, just when.
Yeah.
Like now.
Got to pick a spot, and he's got it right now.
Truex under Hamlin into 3 for the lead. See ya.
Yeah, he's going to drive away now.
Man, oh man. And Denny Hamlin's got to give that puppy back. That one he got for Christmas, you can't keep it.
Well, he's still got to worry about Carl Edwards because Carl's going for it. He's going to try to get that second spot from him.
And Mark Truex is just driving away from these guys.
In his 2 starts here, Truex has finished 29th and 11th a year ago.
I'll tell you what, Denny Hamlin has nothing to be ashamed of. What was his best finish? 4th before this race? 6th? 6th, his best finish ever? If he could come out here with a 2nd or 3rd place finish?
First top 5. Oh, Carl!
Does he have a moment there?
A little squirrely.
The last couple laps, he's just deep driving that car so hard right now.
I think Mark Truex is running just fast enough to stay in front.
The fast lap, he just turned right there.
30.09. Almost as fast as he's run all day.
He's in that clean air. And that helps.
Alan, what are you thinking with Truex out front there, 9 to go at Loudon, New Hampshire?
I'm thinking back to what his crew chief, Kevin Mannion, told me a minute ago about we pitted more times than anyone today. I went back through my notes after we finished that interview, Bill. He stopped at lap 50, again at lap 83, again at lap 99, again at lap 121. Normally, 2 pit stops, stay out for track position here in New Hampshire is the way to win. Not today. It doesn't look like, does it?
Doesn't look like it. How special do you think it's going to be for him?
Oh, well, you know, we talked about this earlier,
Yep.
Bill. For guys who come through the NASCAR Busch North Series, the NASCAR Modifieds, when this racetrack opened in 1990, this was the first super speedway here in New England. This became their Daytona. This was the place where they had a chance to make their names. It was Truex winning 2 Busch North Series races up here that got the attention of people like Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Teresa Earnhardt and the Chance 2 team that got him a shot at NASCAR's big time here in Dover. And it's going to be a big victory celebration if he pulls this one off.
Less than 7 to go. Edwards is trying everything to get second, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's Denny Hamlin in the 20, Carl Edwards in the 60.
But Denny is driving very, very smooth. He's not making any mistakes. It'd be hard to pass.
I want to make a mention that Stanton Barrett's currently running 11th. The good racer M. Kenny Wallace 12th after starting 43rd today.
And Elliott Sadler has fought his way back into the 5th spot.
Yep.
Impressive run by Elliott.
Harvick's in 6th. But it is right now the Martin Truex Jr. show.
Here comes Elliott Sadler. I'm not sure he's done with 5th. He might be trying to take that 4th spot away from
McMurray. It's McMurray in the 64.
Oh, Carl Edwards and Denny Hamlin almost made contact off turn 2.
Oh, he's looking. If he doesn't slide up into him.
Take them both out.
And Jason Leffler is spun on the backstretch, and the caution flag is out.
Well. This won't take long.
But we're going to see a green, white,
yes, sir,
checker.
Some guys may run out of fuel.
Actually, we could see 2 green, white checkers. Man.
8, how about Truex and fuel?
Yeah, well, it's going to be no problem, Bill and Benny Wally, because of all the caution laps that we've had. Just through the lap 127 caution, we'd already had 10 laps of yellow, and we've had, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cautions since then, plus the red flag. So nobody down here is concerned about fuel. And in fact, the leaders team thinks that this caution flag helps them. Remember that Truex's crew chief Kevin Mannion talked about being better on the short runs than the long runs. Green white checker, that's pretty short, even by my math, right?
Yes, sir. So Truex Jr.
Keeping the tires clean, that's important on these restarts, because a lot of times if you pick up a little bit of debris, you'll go down into turn 1, and if you have that debris on those tires, they'll just slide away.
This is already underway here.
See Kenseth go by in the 17 car. Don't know. All right. They're going to throw the green on lap 199. Looks like. Are they going to throw it the next time?
Yeah, this is time by.
This time by. So no, 198.
They'll get the 1 to go this time by. 1 to go this time by.
I guess I wasn't paying attention.
So we'll have a green on 199, a white on 200, so we will run 201.
Yep. Alan, you got something else?
Hey, guys, just remember last year in this race, Martin got 2 penalties. Had to go to the back of the pack twice and came back up and almost got a top 10 finish out of it. He told me he was so frustrated over that that his added determination to win this race was even added onto more.
All right, pace vehicle to the pits. Green comes out on 199.
Green flag.
Hamlin trying to stay with him.
I think we'll see some uses of mirrors here.
And maybe bumpers.
Possibly bumpers. Oh, look at Carl.
Carl Edwards, he's on the outside. He's got the position.
Well, he's got something.
This is good for the leader.
Oh, he pulled it off.
He did pull it off.
Nice
Great move.
White flag this time. Truex, then Edwards. Last lap. Truex looking high.
Did you see that line that Carl Edwards ran? It worked so well for him.
Look, and he picked up 3 or 4 car lengths on that corner.
To gain that ground on you right now.
Whoa! This is where the mirror comes into play?
Yeah.
Edwards on the high side in turn 4. Martin Truex Jr. trying to win on his home track. He will hold off Carl Edwards, and Martin Truex wins in New Hampshire.
Elliott Sadler will finish 4th over Jamie McMurray.
And the top 10 for Stanton Barrett, and 11th for Kenny Wallace. And a win at New Hampshire for Martin Truex Jr. Alan?
All right, Kevin Mannion, you brought your car down pit road 4 times and won a 200-lap New Hampshire race. Congratulations.
That's hard to believe at a place you just want track position, but you know, really wanted to win here. Won here in the modifieds with a couple different drivers and a lot of good friends, a lot of good fans up here, and you know, Martin really wanted to win here too, and the car just wasn't good enough to win, so you know, pit strategy was really funky and different here, so we did everything we could, and 1,000 people to thank. Bass Pro Shop, Chevrolet, Johnny Morris is great sponsor. Going to test Indy, the Cup car Monday and Tuesday. Looking for a lot of fun. Thank God and all my fans, and it's awesome. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, Kevin's another one of those guys with Northeastern roots, and he's pretty happy to win here at New Hampshire, too.
These fans love it. So Truex gets the trophy, a check, and as the winner of today's NASCAR Busch Series races presented the Reese's Big Cup.
And he's somewhere in all that smoke. He's trying to keep the engine running. Wow.
I think he's trying to find his way.
Yeah.
Then he vanished. But he will reappear in victory lane. Hey, let's check in around the garage. Dave?
With Jamie McMurray 5th place today. Jamie sitting down here next to his car. How hot was it there at the end?
I don't know, just my air conditioner broke, and they run like half the size of a drink holder in this. And it's not that big a deal normally, but I got hot today, and I started drinking a lot. And when they threw me a water, they threw it at me, and I couldn't catch it. So it went by, and I was like, oh no. And then we, committed to staying out, but really good call by Blake to stay out. They've had some tough luck this year, and Top Flight went and toured their plant on Wednesday. Really cool to see how golf ball's made, so had a good time. Good run.
And a 5th place finish. Matt?
And Haskell Lavalette from the A-Team came down congratulating Carl Edwards. Now, you said that was a fun green-white checker.
That's as good as it gets, man. I'm terrible at finishing second. So frustrating, but at the same time, I mean, I'm so proud of Martin for winning up here at his home track, and Denny Hamlin did a great job, and I had a blast. We didn't have as good of tires, but there was that groove on the outside. I've been waiting to use it. We got into 3 a little too hot, and my Charter 4 just slid up a little bit. If I would have known he was going to go so easy, I think we could have won that race. But heck, man, it was fun.
Carl Edwards second here and the Magic Mile. Dave?
Catching up with Denny Hamlin now. Denny, a great run for you, Denny, right now, finishing up his radio interview. So we'll come back and get to him.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. Martin Truex Jr. I guarantee you he knows where victory lane is here. And as Alan mentioned, has been thinking about this race, well, for a long time, but certainly since what happened to him here a year ago.
just love how excited those crewmen get.
Well, they work so hard.
Exactly. They work so hard, and it's all for just this moment.
And Truex extends his lead unofficially to 142 points in the championship. Over Clint Boyer, Sorensen third, Edwards fourth, and Kenny Wallace fifth in the championship standings. Martin Truex Jr. in victory lane here in New Hampshire. Marty Snotter.
Bill, the hometown kid, pulls in the victory lane, bringing Bass Pro Shops chance 2 here for the 5th time this year. That leads the league. Man, what does it mean to win in front of the hometown fans, Martin?
Oh, God. This is a dream come true. I mean, first it was Dover.
Dad?
First it was Dover. Now it's here. I mean, it just keeps getting better and better. And, man, we're on a roll. These guys are awesome. Bass Pro Chevrolet was great. We were really tight off the corner all day. Never thought we could win it. But the short runs were good for us. And the guys would slide up the track, and I could run right around the bottom. And
you had that bottom, didn't you?
Yeah, I had the bottom figured out. I couldn't get around there on old tires because I couldn't get off the corner. But just got to thank everybody back at DI for working so hard, believing in me, sticking behind me, and Richie and everybody, and Dale Jr. and everybody. It's been a lot of fun. We're back on a roll now, and man, these guys in the pits get us spots every time, and the cars are great, and everything's just going really good right now.
Yeah, talk about those pit stops. You had to make 4 today. I mean, that's a lot of changes in one day here in New Hampshire.
Ask him. I told him we get the award for the most pit stops. I think we get the award for passing the most cars too, but he knows what he's doing, and it's hard sometimes for me to stick in there and not get worried about the track position we've lost, and he keeps me calm and keeps me up on the wheel, and just kept passing cars all day long, and next thing you know, we were leading. It was awesome.
I kind of found it amusing that they told you where victory lane was here. You already know, don't you?
Yeah, I took my helmet off as soon as he said that. I said, come on, guys, you got to figure that. At least I know where victory lane is here, but I've been here a few times, but this was definitely the sweetest.
All right, the sweetest win of his career, he was saying to his guys on the radio. He wins here at New Hampshire, Dave.
And the guy who almost found his way to victory lane today after leading 67 laps. Denny, are you satisfied with third?
It's hard to say no, but it's our first top 5 finish of the year, and I'm just happy for all the guys at Rockwell Automation and Joe Gibbs for giving me such a great opportunity. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just nothing but a short track guy, and for them to take a chance on me, it says a lot. And we just couldn't overcome those tires. We just went out there and we felt like the best thing to do is just have that track position. And we could make it on fuel, so we learned in practice that the longer we went, the faster we got. So if the race would have kept going green, we would have been in good shape, but all those cautions just closed them back up on me. So I'm just happy to be here.
Denny Hamlin with his best career finish in the Busch Series today. Alan?
And I'm with Elliott Sadler, who told me before the race he was not all that confident his car needed work during the day. It worked out pretty well. 4th place run for you.
I tell you, Alan, I'm proud of my guys. Yesterday we were not that good, and pretty much put my Nextel Cup setup in it. And the City Financial Ford qualified good, running a top 5 all day, got behind on a pit stop and drove right back up to the front. So all in all, a great day. I had so much fun racing with Jamie and JJ and Kevin. And I do want to say congratulations to Denny Hamlin, too, the other Virginia boy. But all in all, a great job by everybody in my Busch team. It was a fun day for us.
So if that was your Nextel Cup setup and you got a top 5 finish out of it, how much are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Alan, I can't wait till tomorrow. I think I've got the best car I've ever had in my life on a short track. And my guys in the fab shop have been working so hard. And we're coming off 2 very disgusting finishes the last few weeks at Daytona, Chicago. So we have one thing in mind when we come to New Hampshire, and that's set the pace back and be a top 5 team and get back in the points where we need to be. We qualified 3rd today, which is by far my best effort here. But we think we got a little bit better car than that for tomorrow. So I can't wait to get M&M's Ford running tomorrow.
All right, Elliott, we can't wait to watch. Thanks. Top 5 finish for Elliott Sadler today, and we go to Matt.
A top 10 finish today for J.J. Yaley. Ran an IRL car here back in '98. Your first NASCAR start and a productive one, J.J.
Yeah, you know, it was a good run for the Vigoro Home Depot car. You know, we were on the same strategy as Denny there, just to stay out there and run, get the best we could. And, you know, the car was really awesome. It just didn't like restarts. It took about 5 laps before it got going, and every time when them restarts come out, it's a sit and duck. And, you know, I got to where I was pretty good, and Elliott Sadler moved me up the racetrack. Learned a little lesson. That one might come back on him sometime, but good short track race, and we're satisfied with the 6th, but I definitely think we could run top 3 tonight.
A great bounce back from a disappointing finish last week, but you had a great run at Chicago, but you had the tire go down late. It seems like you and this team with Jason Ratcliffe have turned the corner.
Absolutely. You know, we really weren't even that good starting off today, but Jason just kept working on the car, and I just kept driving as hard as I possibly could. And, you know, we've been really awesome the last 10 races. We had a couple problems our last 2, but we're going to make a strong finish here and get this car up in top 10 in points, and to see what we can do. Like I had my wife and baby girl Faith back at home. Let's keep trucking.
7 top 10s in the last 11 races, Dave.
With Paul Menard now a 7th place finish there. You were mixing it up there at the end.
Yeah, we had a real good car in long runs. It go good right away, then kind of level off, then get going pretty good at the end. Just kind of ran out laps there. Really good up top. A lot of guys were blocking up top. I mean, that's where they're good too. So just a matter of track position. And I'm real happy. It was a good solid day for Pittsburgh Paints Menard Chevrolet. Dan Stillman and guys kept working on it real hard. So congratulations to Martin, and go to Pikes Peak next week.
Yeah, I mean, you got to feel good for your teammate, but you really, like you say, at times you had a very good race car.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we were awesome in practice, and things changed just a little bit. The track changed a little bit, and kind of caught us off a little bit. So, I mean, I think we're going to bring the same car back to Pikes Peak next week and see what we got out there.
We'll be there. We'll watch him. Hopefully another top 10 for Paul Menard.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, gentlemen. So you heard from the top 7 finishers, and here are the unofficial results in New Hampshire this afternoon.
And Kevin Harvick, I'm sure he's probably the most disappointing guy in the top 10 with that 8th place run, as well as he
dominated pretty much early.
And that's Stanton Barrett's first top 10 since the 2003 season.
That's a good run for those guys. Kenny Wallace, good run from where he started.
From 43rd.
From worst to 11th. Then Boyer and the
Johnny Sauter got back up to 18th after they made that last or late pit stop there.
Yeah, restarted about 34th or something.
Yeah.
Still, all these cars still on the lead lap. Ashton Lewis in 28th, the last car on the lead lap. Casey Atwood at one time was 3 laps down. To the lucky dog, came back, finished 26th. And 31 through 40. Biffle, and then the rest of these cars all in the garage area.
And we're told Jason Leffler was treated and released from the infield care center. So that's good news. Some of these guys had a tough day.
Especially Justin Labonte.
Yeah. Here are the championship standings. After 20 of the 35 races, it's now a 142-point lead for Truex.
Yeah, and Truex is feeling good because in this division, with 10 to go, they don't start back over.
Right. Martin Truex at his home track. Start of the day, middle of the pack. It was a rough and tumble day for many guys. But Martin Truex Jr. celebrates at his home track with his